First and foremost, I start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Raquah Kodash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And salutations to Yahweh came out there pushing the truth and sincerity, and use your body as a living sacrifice, as the scriptures say. And shalom to you very few sisters that listen in silence, as the scriptures say. I'm Korah from the Children of Light with another lesson. And I think I'm going to name this one, Are You Ready for the Purge / martial law? You know, and as these things are happening and transpiring, you know, last week, or maybe the week before that, with the deploying of the National Guard in the New York City subways, and Chicago asking for the same, that the National Guard be deployed in the subways in the Chicago because of the defund the police that they were speaking of 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even shorter than that, around the George Floyd incident. But now, fast forward up to today, the people feel unsafe and they're looking for the government to make them feel safe again, through the problem reaction solution. But today, I came across this article. It says, Arizona bill would make shooting and killing migrants on property legal. A Democrat Latina lawmaker opposed to the legislation said it will allow open season on migrants, and it's no coincidence that you just had a movie come out not too long ago, Leave the World Behind. And what was symbolic in that film was the deers. Those deers represent open season, hunting season, time to hunt. It's playing on your subconscious. But it says by Susan Gamboa, under a bill advancing in the Arizona legislature, a property owner would be able to kill or threaten to kill people who cross their property to illegally enter the U.S. Although the bill does not mention immigrants, its sponsor, Republican Rep. Justin Heap, said in a committee hearing that his bill was intended to close a loophole to assist ranchers who may witness someone trespassing any section of their land, not just within a mile of their home. The bill will modify the state's existing castle doctrine, which allows home and property owners to threaten to use deadly force to stop someone from criminally trespassing into or on their property. They can use deadly force only to defend themselves or another person. The law considers property to be structures for residency, occupied or not. So yeah, to give these people the license to kill, and it's no coincidence that as this bill is coming, you have the state of Louisiana, which is the state of Louisiana giving all its citizens rights to conceal carry without having to do any training or any classes. Anybody is able to operate with a firearm, right? But at the same time that this is happening, you also have in Pittsburgh the police saying they will no longer respond to calls that are not in progress emergencies, amid staffing shortages. It says the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police has made major changes to its operation as it battles staffing shortages, right? Including no longer responding to in progress emergencies and limiting the number of officers on the night shift. Police Chief Larry Scirotto announced in February that during the early morning hours, there would be fewer officers on staff and lower priority calls will get sent to a telephone reporting unit rather than a person. The chief said the changes need to be made so his 740 officers can move more efficiently, serve can more efficiently serve the community, right? So basically, um, and in another article, it also says that from the hours of 3 a.m. until 7 a.m. Matter of fact, let's look it up. Here it is, right here. It's probably further down in the article, but or whatever. Let's just go further down into the article. Let's just jump down. Bear with me. Okay, here it is. He said the early morning hours is when there are the lowest amount of calls, and from 3 to 7 a.m., police stations will not have an officer at the desk. Data said that from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., that we had 8% of our call volume, yet we had 33% of our personnel working during those periods of time, right? So they're giving people an open window from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. to go to commit heinous crimes. Do what you feel, you know? And guess what? It's called gradualism, right? Because they're gonna start, and this is just my opinion, you know, but they're gonna gradually start rolling back those hours, you know, because that's giving people a license to say, if the police say, hey, we're not gonna be responsive from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., right? What do you think people are gonna do, right? You basically have a license to do as thou will, you know, for lack of a better word, right? So all of this is rolling you right into Jacob's trouble, you know, with what they say, like a time that has never been on 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 the earth, right? I believe it's Jeremiah 30 and 7, right? And this is rolling you into second Ezra, the 15th and 16th chapter, right? Where you're gonna have just straight chaos out here, man. You know? And then they're gonna deploy the military, you know? And under the military martial law, you do not have the same constitutional rights that you do when you deal with police officers, right? The military, I believe, is under the Geneva Convention laws. So you don't have any fucking Miranda rights. You're gonna start issuing curfew. If you outside of that curfew, you're gonna be put down, you know? It's no coincidence that you have the National Guard being deployed in New York. They're rolling back the police force in Pittsburgh, and they putting the laws on the books that you can kill someone that you feel is a threat, you know, or on your property or someone else's property, for lack of a better word, you know? So, hey man, you know, um, you got that's why you have to have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah in these times and in these days that's approaching, you know? Because what is that chapter in Amos? I believe it said it's like a man who ran from a bear, who ran from a lion, and the bear met him, and he went to go lean his hand against the wall, and a serpent bit him. That's what's coming, man. You know, if you don't get caught up in these race riots, you know, you don't get caught up in the wild beasts of the field, these stormtroopers, you know, you're gonna get hit with something, man. You know, you truly gonna need the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and the angels to protect you in these days, because it's fastly approaching. We're already the month of March, the third month in the year. And ever since January 1st rolled around, these things have been happening fast. Everything is happening fast, you know. Well, let me read a little bit more. It says, now those those early morning shifts will have a range of 25 to 63 officers scheduled. Burglar alarms will require a second confirmation. And think about it, right? When you call the police, right, their response time is not very fast, you know? It's not a quick response time for the average person when they call the police, you know? So if you have a burglar alarm and it requires a second confirmation, you could goddamn well believe that nobody's gonna get to you within those 15 minutes, man. A lot goes down in 3 minutes. The average trained fighter in a ring does not fight longer than 3 minutes in a round, man. Okay? It says burglar alarms will require a second confirmation before an officer responds, because Scriroto said in a year of 9,500 burglary calls, the majority of them were false alarms, but it cost the department 4,000 personnel hours. It's not that we won't respond to alarms, it's that we're going to require them to be a second verification, a second authentication factor, such as it's not just the front door if there's interior motion. So you gotta wait till a motherfucker all the way in your home before they already understaffed, and there's no telling if they're already dealing with something else or how far you are from the station, right? So now you have a person within your home and you doing your second verification, you know, waiting for someone to come and respond, right? Respond. Um, it says if there's interior motion, there's video, there's audio, there's glass break. Cyroto said. Other scheduled changes include officers switching to 10-hour shifts for 4 days a week and 1 hour breaks to focus on their mental health. Yeah, man, because man, these police officers are trying to make it home to their families as well. You know, they not trying to get killed in the fucking line of duty. If gunshots are ringing out, it's not their job to run in the middle of the shots and say, hey, hey, hey. It's not their job. You know, they're overworked and they're short staffed. You know, but all of this is by design, man. You know, all of this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, man. So with that, man, I'm gonna close. Pray you edified. Until next time, Shalom.